start standing. So I have my mat set up, so I'm gonna be doing like a little dancing around the mat probably to try to get the best view for you. So ignore me if I'm kind of moving around to get into my spot to best demonstrate. So this is Vinyasa Flow. Please modify. I have my blocks and strap and water close by. So if you want to have all your tools close by in case you want to use them. We are going to start standing, and as Vinyasa Flow, so we're going to be moving a lot, taking it at your own pace, stop and breathe, go to child's pose, whatever you need to do if you need to catch your breath. So let's start with those feet grounded. We're going to fan those toes open wide so we get a nice base of support. Sort of rock the body forward and back on those feet just to really feel that grounding. Then we're going to stop right in center. And feel that pressure go straight down through the center of the foot, but equal pressure in all four corners. So we're gonna slide the shoulders back and down and turn the palms to face forward. And same with the hands. We want those fingertips spread open wide. So let's slide the shoulders down as we draw the rib cage and belly in tightly and close our eyes. So let's begin to reconnect that body with our breath to our mind. So we want to just reconnect the mind and body and follow that breath to help with that connection. So let's take a minute as we begin to deepen and lengthen that breath to find any tightness or soreness or areas that may need a little bit more attention today. If a pose feels tight or difficult today, just find that breath and reconnect with that breath. So now as we inhale through the nose, we want to feel that breath flow from the top of the head and radiate through the body, through those fingers and those toes. And as we exhale, we want to exhale through the nose, engaging our core center. But as that core center gets more engaged and strong, we want to feel the shoulders and neck relax and the glutes and hips relax for now. We want to bring our awareness to that core center. As we breathe in deeply, feel the breath flow throughout the body. As we exhale deeply through that nose, feel that fire igniting in the core center. Continuing that breath a few more times on your own. Now as we begin to inhale, let's reach the arms up to the sky, opening the eyes as we stretch and look to the sky. Exhale, those arms float out. And again, inhale, so we're grounded in those feet as we reach those fingertips up to the sky. And exhale out, stretching those fingertips as far away from the shoulders as we can. Dropping the chin now as we inhale, looking up, stretching the fingers, still grounded in those feet. Exhale as those arms sweep out. We're dropping the chin toward the chest. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in deeply. Breathing out deeply through that nose. Let's begin to roll those shoulders back, releasing any tension from the neck or from the shoulders. Stay aware of that core center, strong and powerful. Alternating those arms back, looking to the right and looking to the left, getting a little bit of movement and mobility through the waist as well as the shoulders. So we'll breathe it in and out, nice and slowly, reconnecting to that breath. Stay grounded in those feet as we begin to move that torso a little bit more. Feel that stretch and flow with the breath. One more each side. And center, big breath up and down. Now as those arms come down, we're going to alternate those heels. So just warming up through those feet a little bit, pedaling out those feet. Feel that nice stretch in the arch and under those toes. Don't forget the core is strong and the shoulders are back. We have that nice strength in the body as we begin to move those feet. So we'll do a few more on each side. And then we'll ground down. Now as we inhale, this time we're going to lift the heels. Find that strength and power. As we exhale, we're going to sink the heels down into a forward fold. So softening the knees for this first forward fold, allowing that low back a little chance to warm up before we straighten the legs up, reaching to the sky, just lifting those heels. And then lowering the heels as we hip hinge and forward fold. So again, we want that soft knee for the first few forward folds, so we're not putting too much tension in the back as we inhale, coming up, lifting onto those toes. Feel that strength in the feet. Sinking those heels down as we reach those arms out. Maybe the legs are a little bit straighter now in this forward fold. Core is strong. Inhale, lifting back up. Those toes are spread open wide. Exhale, grounding those feet into the forward fold. Last one. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. Lifting those heels. And forward fold. Grounded feet. Hip hinge forward. Inhale, up. Feet stay grounded as we reach to the sky. We drop that right hand over, reaching those fingertips away from the left side. Bring both arms up, inhale. Exhale, looking over to the left as we reach those right fingertips up. Feeling that nice lateral stretch. Let's flow with the movement and breath. Exhale over to the right. Inhale up. Exhale over to the left. Inhale up. Those feet are grounded as we stretch away. Lateral flexion. Feel that nice opening in that left side body. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Bring the hands through heart center as we forward fold here. We're going to just bring the hands down and slide them up to monkey pose. So we want to feel that strength here for a moment. So grounded in the feet. We want to draw the belly in strong and keep that back as flat as possible. So for some, it may feel better to keep that soft knee. If we begin to straighten the knees, we want to make sure the pelvis stays neutral and doesn't tuck under here. So we want a nice neutral pelvis, core is strong, arms are strong. So we're just going to slowly go through this flow. Here, holding strong, shoulders back and down. Then we release down to the floor here and step back into our plank. So we're in a nice straight body here, nice and strong and long. Holding here. From here, let's alternate knees to the floor. So just beginning to warm up in those hands and wrists and that core. So keep those abdominals strong. We want the shoulders back and down as we fan those hands open wide and tap those knees. So activating the core. Now we want both knees to come to the floor. And we're going to lower those elbows right by the side. So we want to make sure we're using the strength in our core and our arms. Those elbows stay right by the side. Let's put our toes on the floor and lift the chest out and the hands up for our cobra. Feel that back strength. Now from here, we're going to push all the way up to our knees and then back to our plank. So holding that strong plank, let's alternate those knees again. We're just going to go through this a couple times to make sure we're really working the right muscles in those arms. So now both knees are going to come down. We're going to engage that core, shift the weight forward and lower the entire body together. Use those triceps. And then lifting the chest into our cobra From here, feel the muscles in the back, nice and strong. And then push up to our plank again. We're gonna do that one more time. Alternating those knees, so firing up that core. Good breathing. Now both knees come down. Elbows right by the sides as we shift the weight forward and lower the entire body down together. And then lifting to cobra. And then we're pushing back to child's pose. Here, so sinking that body back in child's pose as we reach those fingertips long, away from that body. So this is a nice pose to come back to if we need to relax or find our breath once we get flowing here. So let's take that stretch and let those hips sink forward so we get that nice stretch in that front of the body. So this is going to be a nice warm-up for our upward facing dog. Let's sink back into child's pose. Inhale, bring the body forward. This will be the nice stretch in that front body for our upward facing dog, should we choose to. And then come back all the way back. Let's do that one more time. Coming forward here. Let's hold it here. Now engage the core and the thighs and lift those knees up off of the floor. So that's our upward facing dog. We want to be really strong in the arms and thighs. Holding for a few more breaths. Sometimes holding these poses is a little harder than flowing. And then we'll come back down to child's pose. Feel that nice stretch in the back. Reach those fingertips long. Now we're going to tuck our toes and work for a little bit in our downward facing dog. So we want our hips to the sky and our feet are grounded. Our feet are fanned open wide in the toes. Let's take a little bend in the knee and then the hips come back up to the sky. Little bend in the knee, hips come back to the sky. Grounded heels, 2 more. Bend and lift. And bend, and lift. Good, holding there. We'll alternate those knees. Pedal out those feet. Feel that nice stretch in the back of the legs, in those feet. Check in with that core. Make sure it's lengthened to the sky and strong all the way up through that tailbone is stretching. And then we'll come back down to the knees. And all the way back down into our child's pose. So remember, this child's pose is here if we need it. Taking a few long, deep breaths. Great, and coming back up to our downward facing dog. Let's step or hop those hands or feet all the way up to the hands. And then forward fold, relax. Inhale as we circle, sweep back up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale down. Let's flow. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, swan dive down to those feet. Core is strong. Inhale up to monkey pose. Straight arms, straight legs, straight back. Step back, let's go through the flow. Either full chaturanga or on those knees here. We can go into cobra or that upward facing dog here. And then lift those hips up to our downward facing dog. Let's hold it here for a few breaths. Check in with those hands and fingers and toes are spread wide. Breathing deeply, feel the length from the top of the head all the way up through that tailbone. Those feet are grounded. As we inhale, we lift our head and gaze forward toward our hands. Step or hop all the way forward to those hands, releasing into our forward fold. Inhale as we circle, sweep all the way back up, reaching to the sky. Exhaling out. Stay grounded. We should be warming up a little bit now. Reach to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, slide up to that monkey pose. Straight arms, straight legs, straight back. Exhale, step back and through our flow to up dog or cobra, whatever feels best. Exhale to our downward facing dog. Spread those fingers and toes open wide. Let's keep it here for a few long, deep breaths. Really take that breath in and create length and space in those joints and muscles. And on that exhalation, create that strength and dynamic tension. Relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. As much as possible, bring that strength to the core. Inhale, looking toward those hands stretch as we step or hop forward. Exhale into the forward fold. Inhale, bring those arms all the way up. This time we'll bring the hands to heart center and hold it here. So let's just hold here in mountain pose with the hands at the heart, super grounded in those feet. Close the eyes for just a moment. Find that breath. Find that strength in those legs and core. So we'll continue the flow now. This time adding a chair pose in the beginning. So we want to sink those hips back. Scoop those arms out in front so the weight is back through those hips and heels. As we inhale, let's push the hips forward, reaching the arms slightly back. And then swan diving down to those feet. Inhale up to that monkey pose. Pull up with that belly. Exhale, step back. Full chaturanga or on those knees, whatever feels best. We want to come to up dog or cobra. Lifting up to our downward facing dog. This time we take our right foot forward. And we're going to hold it here for just a few breaths as we really find that first warrior, or warrior one. We want our hips forward. Our back foot is grounded. Our front knee is bent and our arms are reaching to the sky. We want to keep our torso facing forward and not sideways. So really try to feel that strength and stretch in that torso as we reach to the sky. Holding there, relaxing the shoulders. Feel that stretch from those fingertips down through those feet. And that nice strong core. Now we're going to swan dive down. Step back to our plank and go through our flow. So lowering down and up. And then ending in downward facing dog here. Holding for just a breath. And then our left foot comes forward. And we step back slightly onto our warrior one on the other side. So we want those hips forward. We want to stay really grounded and have a good base of support. So on this one where our feet aren't lined up, we're about hip width apart and our hips are facing forward and reaching those arms to the sky here. So we want that nice strength, good solid base of support. And we should feel a pretty good stretch in the right hip. Fingers are open wide. Great. 2 more long, deep breaths. Remember, we want to push that body, but we also want to listen to it and do what feels good without pain, pain-free, stopping and stretching when and if we need to. Let's bring those hands down. We'll step back into our plank, lowering either to the knees or stay straight into our chaturanga to up dog, to down dog. Holding here for 2 long, deep breaths. We should be warming up now. Good, breathe in. Look toward the hand, step or hop to those hands. Release into that forward fold. Circle sweep all the way back up. Exhale to heart center. Let's reach those arms up and slightly back. Coming down into our chair pose as we sink back. Reach those arms in front. Inhale up. Swan dive down. Slide up to monkey pose, strong. Step back through our flow. Lowering down. Coming up to either cobra or up dog. Coming all the way back to child's pose or downward facing dog. We want to step that right foot forward into our warrior one, part of our flow. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down. Back to that plank, all the way down and up and down. Holding down dog for one breath. And then we step that left foot forward. Reach those arms to the sky. Bring them back down. Core is strong. Stay in the plank or to the knees, lowering down to either our cobra or up dog. Lift. All the way back to child's pose or our downward facing dog. We'll hold it here for a few breaths. We should be nice and warm now. Fanning out those toes and those hands. That nice base of support. And then from here, let's gaze forward and take the right foot forward. So we're going to move from here to our warriors. So we're going to ground in warrior two. We want that heels lined up on this one. So our body is open in front, our arms are squeezing, and we're looking over those fingertips in front. We want to make sure that that knee's not falling into front. We want to keep that thigh nice and strong and that outer hip working. So reach those fingertips in opposite directions. Feel that nice stretch. From here, let's reverse it. So stay grounded as we push and reach to the sky, gently pushing into that side body stretch. Good breathing. Stay connected to that breath. Maybe lower a tiny bit more for more strength in those thighs. And from here into that side angle, we'll rest that elbow or forearm on the thigh. Take that open shoulder and reach it straight up or over. So you'll feel a little more side body stretch here. We just want to make sure we're not looking forward or having our chest down toward the floor. We want to really try to rotate open and then stretch. So our hips are low. Let's open those fingers and then take our pointer finger and thumb to touch. And just really stretch those fingers. That feels good. Stretching from that heel all the way out through those fingertips. Core is strong and we're rotating open. Stay low in the legs. Let's breathe in. Reverse, breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out, reverse. One more, breathe in. Flow with it, breathe out. Then we'll come back up to center, straightening the leg, and we're reversing directions now. So now our other knee is bent, and we're in our warrior two going the other way. We want to be grounded in that back leg and really open in the front. Looking to that right, or whichever side you didn't do. So we're looking over that front hand, really reaching out those fingers. Make sure the knee's not falling in. That's a pretty common error, is to kind of let the knee fall in. We want to strengthen that outer hip and IT band area. So keep that knee open, the whole front side of the body stretched. Really strong in the shoulders. A lot of people shrug too, so try to push those shoulder blades down. And then reach up. So we'll stay grounded as we push that hand up and then away. So we want to feel that whole side body stretch. But as we do that, don't straighten the leg with it. Stay grounded and low as we push back. And watch that knee as well. All these little corrections, little techniques to watch. Make sure that we're not extending over those toes. We want to be nice and open in the hips. And then we'll go into our side angle. Stay grounded. Reach that side body up or even over. As long as we're not collapsing here. And we can stay really open and then get that stretch here. All the way. Maybe 1 inch lower in the hips. As we reach through those fingertips, we have our pointer and thumb fingers touching and lengthening those other fingers away. Just feels good to hold these different mudras sometimes. Inhale back to center. Stay low but strong. Reverse it. Exhale. Breathe in. Strong hold. Breathe out. Stay low. Just that torso and upper body are moving. Those legs are strong. Breathe in. Last one. Breathe out. Now we're going to come back up to center and turn the toes in. So our toes are still fanned open wide and our heels are turned out just slightly. Hands are going to come to the hips as we push the hips forward and just take our gaze to the sky. Feel the whole front side of the body stretching. Breathing in, maybe opening the chest a little more. As we exhale, we're going to hip hinge. So bring that torso forward. Bringing the hands to the floor, or even maybe a little wider, elbows to the floor and relaxing the head. Now this is kind of a good place for the block. If we want to rest our forehead on the block, it actually feels really nice to stretch those arms and just kind of allow the head, neck, and shoulders to relax here. So we can use the block if that feels good, or bring the elbows down and rest a little lower here. So we're just going to hang in that forward fold, nice straddle for a few more long, deep breaths. Maybe even stretching those arms out long in front feels really nice in the shoulders and the neck. Good breathing. And then as we come back, let's begin to just straighten those arms. Maybe even softening those knees a little bit, if that feels okay. Core is strong. And then we're going to come up, sort of a reverse swan dive back up. And then hands are to heart center here. Big breath up. And exhaling here. So we'll bring those feet in together now. With our nice strong base of support, we're going to take our left foot forward. So we're really pretty balanced in a nice foundation for our pyramid. So from here, we'll get into those hamstrings a little bit more. So we're gonna lift the chest up and then hinge it forward. So we wanna slide the hands down to either the shin, or this is also a nice one to have those blocks close by. If we want to just come to the blocks here. A lot of times I'll see people sort of struggling to get down to the floor and they're all rounded up. So it's better to use the blocks and stay really long in the legs and torso and arms versus trying to get down there here. Just use those blocks as the floor. No need to touch the floor. Good breathing. So really activate the muscles in through the back. Maybe softening those elbows will give a little bit more stretch as we lift our hips higher. Good breathing. So we want to add a little reverse triangle in here. So our right foot's in front, so our left hand will come across to the block or the foot or leg, and then that arm is going to come up to the sky. So we've got a little revolved triangle going here. Good breathing. Feel that nice stretch. This one will challenge balance a little bit too as we begin to fire up those muscles for balance. Core is strong. And then releasing back to center. Relaxing head, neck, and shoulders as we lift those hips up and ground those feet. Lifting the chest, we'll step all the way in together. Inhale up. As we exhale, let's switch sides. So our feet are grounded. We've got that nice base of support. And we're lifting the chest and opening. As we hip hinge forward, bringing the hands as we slide down the leg here. This is fine. Or using the blocks. Or coming to the floor. Whatever feels best for you today. But know that those blocks can feel really good as a way to really work on the correct muscles versus just trying to get to the floor. We want to slide those shoulders down, pull the core in. If you don't have blocks though, you can always just keep the hands connected to your thigh or your shin or your foot or the floor, whatever feels best. Relaxing head, neck, and shoulders. Now we want to add a little revolved triangle here to challenge balance and core strength. So we'll take that arm up to the sky and breathing deeply. So we can use that block too. Nice long breath. And then we'll release it back, untwisting slowly. Back into our pyramid pose. Relaxing head, neck, and shoulders. Lifting the chest, bring those feet all the way in together and circle sweep back up. Inhale. Exhale through heart center. Great, inhaling up. As we exhale now, let's step that right foot back. So we're in a nice lunge here. We can keep those blocks close by as we come forward into a runner's lunge. So this feels good here, or even dropping the knee down. If we want a little bit more support, we can have the knee on the ground or up in that full runner's lunge here. So really lengthening from the back foot all the way through those fingertips, nice and strong. Draw the belly in tight. And then begin to straighten that front leg and pull those toes up. That's a great stretch in the back of the leg. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale, come back down to our runner's lunge. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the toes. Nice stretch here. Come forward into that runner's lunge. One more time. Lift those toes in front and back to that runner's lunge. Great. From here, we're going to lower the knee. So we're all on that knee now. We're going to stretch the arms up and feel that nice psoas stretch. This muscle tends to get really tight when we spend too much time at the computer or in the car. So we want to stretch that baby out. Reach those fingers up. And then we're going to bring the hands down and just slide back to child's pose. So let's rest for just a few breaths into child's pose. Reaching those hips back, stretching those fingers forward. Good breathing. Engage that core, we'll come up and bring that opposite leg in front. So we'll start with that nice psoas stretch, tuck the back toes, we're going into our runner's lunge. So we're on the other side, ensuring that that knee is right over the ankle. Our shoulders are back and down. So again, we can be on the blocks up high or flat or even on the floor. Whatever feels best in that lunge, we can stay down on the knee. We want to do what feels best for us in that stretch, but play around with the props because it does feel really good on the neck and shoulders to not be having to stretch and reach and strain for everything all the time. So we're going to stretch up, straighten that front leg, pull those toes up, and then come back down into our runner's lunge. Runner's lunge, yes. And then back up, toes are up, straight long leg, and then lowering back down. Core is strong. Two more. Lift those toes, straighten the front knee, And then back down. Nice strengthen up. Nice stretch. Back to our lunge. Lowering the knee and then reaching those fingertips up. Feeling that stretch through the whole front side from that knee up through the chest. And release those arms down. We'll bring those legs back to child's pose. Feel that nice stretch. All the way up. And great, we'll come up slowly to seated. And do just a few seated. So right on those sit bones with those legs out in front. So we're going to avoid bringing those feet all the way in and keep it more of a diamond shape so we can lift our torso up and fold forward into it. Using those abdominals, not the hands, to pull the body forward. The hands are just resting under those feet, sort of cradling the feet as that body comes forward. Use those abdominals. Nice breathing. And then coming up slowly to seated. So we'll stretch those legs out long into our seated pose with those hands open wide. We want to draw the shoulders back and sit really tall right on those sit bones. Pushing gently into the hands so we get a little dynamic tension in the staff pose. Shoulders are back, core is strong, feet are flexed, so we're sitting really good posture, using the muscles in the front, strengthening all around as we gently press into that floor. We're very active even though it just looks like we're sitting around here. Sitting tall, and then we want to come forward into our forward fold. Either relaxing here, we can use our strap as well. Feels really good for this one. Kind of just extends our arms a little bit. So again, we're not straining in those shoulders, trying to reach for everything. We can just use that strap and feel that lengthening in the hamstrings, and then maybe even relaxing a little bit more into that stretch. With each breath coming forward, maybe a tiny bit more. And then sitting up tall. As we come up, we're going to bring that right knee in toward the chest and sit tall. Take that left arm up to the sky and bring it around. So we're looking up and over that shoulder. So sitting tall, muscles are engaged in the seated twist. We don't want to wrench anything ever. We just want to gently guide it. So if that arm doesn't fit all the way around that knee, we can just gently pull it with the hand as well. Sitting tall and breathing deeply. Don't forget about that straight leg is flexed and active. And then we'll release. Let's go back into our forward fold, just sort of realigning everything in that body. And then we'll come up, straight up. Pull the knee in gently, as far as it can comfortably go without having to wrench it in. And then grab that knee. Make sure we're not pulling it across the body. It stays neutral and our hips are grounded. Looking over that shoulder. Keeping those abdominals strong. Breathing deeply. These twists are very good, healthy, cleansing poses. And then we'll release. Sitting tall, forward fold. And then we'll come up as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, let's lower slowly to that floor. Nice and slow, engage that core. And as we come down, let's reach those arms long overhead so we get that full body stretch. So So remember that length. Keep the length as we draw the right knee into the chest. Exhale. Breathe in. Let's get that length again. Stretch those fingers and toes. Exhale, pull the knee in. Releasing the hips and low back. Breathe in, stretch. Breathe out. One more on each side. Don't force it. Just allow the breath to help release the muscles. Stretch and out. Stretch everything long. And then those arms will come down. Let's bend our knees. If you have a block, grab it and get it close. We're going to do a bridge and hold the bridge. So we can keep the bridge here very actively. Or we can take that block. It feels really nice to either put it under the hips, or we can try to get it on the high part and put it right under the hips as well. And it just feels good to sort of be able to release onto something in this posture. It's more of a restorative bridge, a little less active in those hamstrings, but it feels really good stretching through the whole front side of the body. We want to relax the head, neck, and shoulders. Make sure those feet are completely grounded and we're not rolled to the outside of the feet with the knees wide. Keep everything sort of buttoned up at center. A few more long, deep breaths. And then we'll lift those hips maybe 1 extra inch, get that block out, and then lower down slowly, slowly after holding that bridge. We'll bring our arms out to the sides and let both knees fall over to the left. As we look to the right, let's close the eyes and breathe deeply into that stretch. Allowing the head, neck, and shoulders a chance to relax. Deepening the breath. Allowing those knees to float back to center. And then they float over to the other side, looking away from those legs. Closing the eyes. And allowing that breath into the area of the body that may feel tight or tension. And try to create space and awareness with that breath. And as we exhale, we blow away that tension or stress. Engaging the core, bring the legs back to center. Let's stretch those legs out. So our legs are just about as wide as the mat now. And we'll bring our arms down so they're just slightly wider than the mat as well. We want our whole body to just relax. As we breathe in deeply through the nose, we feel that restorative breath flow through the body. From the top of the head and down through the fingers and toes. And as we breathe out, release and relax the toes and feet and ankles. Inhale. Exhale, relax the shins and calves and knees. Inhale. Exhale, relax the thighs and hips and stomach. Inhale. Exhale, relax the low back, chest and upper back. Inhale. Exhale, relax the arms, hands, and fingers. Inhale. Exhale, relax the shoulders, neck, and head. Inhale. Exhale, relax the face and jaw and mouth. Inhale. Exhaling, relax. Begin to add gentle movement to fingers and toes. Bringing awareness back to the breath, maybe taking a few deep breaths. Rolling over onto one side as we cradle the head and just reconnect to that earth with the hands. Breathing and relaxing. And when you're ready to come up, slowly moving back up into easy seated position. And we'll just gently roll those shoulders back. And bringing our hands together at heart center, let's close our eyes once again and just stay grounded through the hips. Our hands are lightly touching at the chest and together. Take a moment to find thanks, give thanks to your body and to the space and people around you. Let's take that love and thankfulness from our heart and send it up and out into the world as we exhale. And then as we inhale, we'll bring all that love and gratitude back into our hearts. Namaste. Thank you.